Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth launch day. Today, in just a couple hours, we're going to be able to jump into that game. Those of you who haven't been able to play. Today, we're going to talk specifically about the best starting teams to start the game with. So let's go ahead and jump into that. But first, before we do, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with this and other games, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. Very exciting day. We've got launch just happening in a few hours, so I want to go ahead and jump into these teams. But first, just kind of to give a few reminders. Number one, all my links to my social media are in the description below, so definitely check that out. Also, I've put out some videos over the last couple days looking at what's best to buy in the store, tips for beginners, an overview, if you're not too familiar with the game, just an overview of what to expect once you jump in the game. I'll go ahead and put a link up to the playlist right up over here. But let's go ahead, take a look at this. We're going to talk about three different teams here. We're going to talk about two light teams and one shadow team. And the reason for two light teams is because it's really going to depend on which way you want to go, your thought process as you come into the game. So first, let's talk about the Hobbit team. Now, the Hobbit team, they're a balanced team, right? They've got assists, they've got counters. Obviously, they've got some heals. You've got some regeneration with Pippin once Merry comes into the play. You've got some debuffs as well. I'm not going to go in-depth into the talents and stuff like that, so definitely take a look for yourself. But we're going to go do a high-level look at each one of these teams. And then later, I may do an in-depth video on each one of them. But Strider is going to be your leader for this team. One of the things really great about him, about his leader ability here, is the Road to Rivendell squad members. They get plus 5% damage and armor. So that just adds a little bit of a buff to the Hobbits, especially since Strider and Pippin are both going to plug and play into your Rohan team too, if that's the route that you want to go. Reason for the Hobbits here is because I have to think with the Lord of the Rings game that CG is going to do right by the Hobbits, and we're going to have something cool with those Hobbits. They're a pretty good team. They're a balanced team. The Rohan team's got a lot of cool stuff with counters and assists also. But this team, I do enjoy this team. I have a lot of fun with it. You do need this team in order to unlock Sam. You get Sam unlocked through Tier 1. Once you get through Tier 1, you need to get all of your characters up to star level 4. Once you get to star level 4, you can unlock Tier 2 and continue to star Sam up through there. So I really wanted to go this route so I can finish that campaign, that event really early on, and kind of just stay back and wait for some of the other stuff and then farm everything else. And that's kind of what I've done. This Hobbit team, I've been able to complete the light side campaign right now. And right now, I'm just waiting to hit level 43 to unlock the final campaign, Chapter 5, and then work my way through that. But it's a pretty good team. I enjoy them. Pippin's going to be your healer. Oh, Strider, really quick, going back to Strider. So he's got Hobbit synergy. He's your damage dealer. He's got dots. He's got a buff against the Nazgul, which is kind of cool. And he's got a nice AoE. So he works out really well. Pippin, let's go ahead and talk about Pippin. It keeps reorganizing my stuff, but here's Pippin. So Pippin obviously is going to be your healer. He's got dispels for boons and banes, which is good. Boons are your buffs. Banes are your debuffs. He's got regeneration, like I was talking about, once Merry comes into the mix. And then he's got a might buff as well. When we go into this right here, so right here, if Merry is an ally, grant regeneration to all squad members once you get this skill up to level 4, which is great. This might is a nice buff for the team. Damage is increased by 50%. You definitely want to put into him. He's the best healer in the game early on, really the only good healer in the game early on. And again, like I said, you'll use him for both teams. Also, Frodo. Frodo's a damage dealer. He's a pretty good guy. He's doing actually quite a bit of damage, over 1k of damage so far that I've seen. One thing that he does is expose. So which ability is that? I think it's this one right here. Yeah, expose. Right here, which it reduces the armor by 50% and allows us to do a little bit more damage. But he's pure damage. Then Eothane. So those are the three. Then we're going to go to Eothane. Eothane is a tank. And he's got some cool stuff happening with him. Where is he? I think he's down towards the bottom here. So Eothane here specifically, he gives turn meter and grants counterattack, which I think is really cool. Everything else is pretty much damage. He's got some expose there. But right here, his provoke, he's going to gain 3 stacks of provoke, which is great for a tank. A lot of the other tanks in this game only grant 1 stack of promote early on, and then once you max their skills out, 2 stacks. So 3 stacks early on is pretty good. I mean, and that's only what? That's only skill level 3. Once, as you continue to level up this skill, you get additional turn meter, which is awesome. And that's to all squad members. So that's pretty cool. That's the biggest thing for him. And then Eomer, oh yeah, and also, let's take a look at this one here really quick. So this one here, attack all enemies for damage and grants a stack of counterattack to self and 3 random allies. Once you max that out at 6, you're going to grant counterattack to all allies. So this is one of the reasons why the Rohan team is pretty good as well. It's just all the assists and the counterattacks. And then we have Eomer. Now Eomer, he's really cool because he's got a summon. He's got some nice synergy with Eothane and with Eowyn as well. So if we just take a look at the abilities right here, he's got synergy with Eothane, cleansing Banes, also doing some additional damage. For this ability down here, he heals himself as well as Eowyn. Also calls for assist, which is great. And then I think it's, where is it? This one right here. If it wants to go, there we go. Summon a Rohan attacker, attack the target enemy for 100% damage, and call a Rohan ally to assist. So again, assists and counterattacks is what this team is all about. And as you continue to level that one, you just gain more damage. So that rounds out the team. This is the Hobbit team without Sam. Once you unlock Sam, let's take a look at Sam. Now Sam, he's an all right tank. Nothing too fantastic, to be absolutely honest with you. He does have nimble. He's got a blind. The retaliate is really cool. So we just take a look at this. Let's take a look at this ability here, this nimble. What it does is you gain provoke. You're going to evade the next hit. So that's pretty cool. Once you get this maxed out, not maxed out, once you get this up to level 4, you're going to get that +1 provoke. So we'll have 2 turns of provoke rather than just 1. I would like to see more. This ability here, he's a self-healing tank, which is pretty cool, but he also has a blind, so he's got a couple ways to mitigate damage. And then this ability right here is retaliate. I like this. It's just when an enemy attacks a Road to Rivendell ally, 45% chance to retaliate against that enemy. And then as you see, as you level it up, it just increases that chance to retaliate. So pretty decent there. Once we get Mary in there, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this team can do. All right, so that is that team. Now, if you're not really a Hobbit fan or you don't want to build them, you want to go more towards the Rohan team. The Rohan team is pretty good. The main benefits of the Rohan team are really counterattacks and assists. So like you saw with Eothane and Eomer, you've got a lot of assists, you've got some synergy. So the next one there is going to be Eowyn here. Eowyn is going to be your leader for this one. So if we take a look at this here, Rohan squad members gain 25% crit chance during assists and counterattacks. So there is a chance that you're going to get quite a bit more damage there. So Eowyn, crit up on assists and counterattacks, grants might, and also cleanses Banes as well. Let's see, where's the other ability I wanted to talk about really quick? You got Disable here. Disable's pretty cool as well, so that only basic attacks are used, so they can't use any other specials. So she's pretty good and does well with that team. And those 3 together, those are the Rohan trio. So that's what I call this. This is the Rohan trio with Strider and Pippin. So with that, we have Eothane, Eomer, we already went over. We just went over Eowyn. We have Strider and Pippin for here. Same benefits, obviously, there. You don't have as much Hobbit synergy in this team between Strider and the Hobbits, but you do have that plus damage and that plus armor for Pippin. Just kind of helps buff him up just a little bit. So those are your 2 choices for your light side teams. I went the Hobbit route. Like I said, I'm at the end of the light side campaign, and I'm as far as I can get. Right now, I got to farm that team up to 4 stars so I can continue tier 2 for Sam's Gardener event. And I'm just naturally building up the Rohan team now because that's kind of really the only thing I can do until I get to level 43 and can go to chapter 5. Let's go ahead and talk about the Isengard team. So this is your Shadow team. This is the Isengard trio, and really kind of the overall theme of this team is really Banes. The more Banes you throw out, the more heals that happens. So we're going to start out with this guy, Ugluk. He's a great guy. He's going to be your leader here, and check this out. When an Isengard squad ally inflicts a Bane, heal all squad members for 2.5% of their max health. Isengard squad members gain plus 5% focus. So you're going to have a lot of heals thrown out because you're going to be throwing out a lot of Banes, which is good for this team, and it definitely keeps them up. Ugluk, again, he's your leader. Heals, that's really the main thing for him. Other than that, he does quite a bit of damage. He's got a blind, so he's got some Banes. Every one of these characters are going to have some Banes on the Isengard team. All right, next is going to be Mauher. So Mauher, is your attacker. He's going to be your damage dealer. So he's got damage, he's got Banes, and he's got crit up per Bane. So when we take a look at, I think it's aggressive tactics. On crit, cleanse 1 Bane for himself. Isengard squad members gain crit chance. That's not it. This one right here, he's got a slow. He also calls Ugluk to assist. So he's got an assist there. He's got 2 stacks of regeneration. This deadly here is cool. Critical chance increased by 30%. And then right here, attack the target enemy for 140% damage. Gain 10% crit chance for this attack. And there it is, right down there at the bottom. So once you get this ability at level 6 down here, you get plus 5% crit chance per Bane. So since this team throws out a ton of Banes, you're going to get his crit chance up. So he's a pretty good character. Great for the trio here. The next is going to be Dunhar. Dunhar is going to be our healer. So let's go ahead and take a look at him right here. Now, again, throwing out Banes. Heals and Banes is really what his focus is. Right here is his heal. He also inflicts Weaken. If you take a look at Weaken, right there, damage is reduced by 50%. So he's your traditional healer. He's going to throw out Banes, which is going to help with Ugluk, leader ability, and heal everybody up as well. There's multiple ways that this team heals, which I think is great. And then we have Nuraz. So Nuraz, I just added him. He is freaking fantastic. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at Nuraz. I only have him at 1 star right now. The best thing about Nuraz here is his ability to summon a troll. So for him, he's got defense up, which is really, really cool. He's got the summon as well. And those are the 2 biggest things for him. So if we go to a second ability right here, defensive on self and 3 random allies, which is cool. Once you get this up to ability 6, all of your squad is going to get defensive, which again blocks the next hit, which is pretty cool. Here's your summon on the troll, which is great. As you increase its ability, you're increasing the turn meter gain on that troll. And if you max this out, you're going to immediately give that troll provoke, which is nice. So that's pretty cool. All right, that's the biggest thing for him. And then next is Ironhide. So you got the Isengard trio, you've got Nuraz, and you've got Ironhide, which you farm out of the guild campaign. And he is just, he is all out damage. He also dispels boons. Is it boons or banes? It's boons. So right here, he does just a ton of damage here. His next ability, this one right here, this is the one that dispels boons from the enemy. So boons again are buffs. So it's just a lot of damage, this guy. Plus armor and health. I mean, he's a tank. And the cool thing also about Nuraz is he will give provoke to a random troll. So I think it's this one right here. On turn, 50% chance to grant 1 stack of provoke to a troll ally, prioritizing the troll Stonebreaker. So if you don't have your Stonebreaker out there, then your troll Ironhide could get that provoke before you get the troll out, before you get the troll Stonebreaker out. So a lot of cool stuff with this team. And he was the best add. Now before I got him, I had Edric. I do like Edric for an alternative. 2 reasons. Number 1, this right here is Blood Frenzy. So when an ally is attacked, 25% chance to gain 1 stack of Blood Frenzy. Blood Frenzy here, gain additional benefits per stack. Stacks up to 10. So again, 25% chance to gain that 1 stack, Blood Frenzy. If that ally is Dunlendian or Isengard, double that chance. So it's a 50% chance to get that Blood Frenzy. So that's why he fits well with the Isengard team. Blood Frenzy right here. Gain 1% turn meter per stack of Blood Frenzy on self. If it gets up to 10, then it also grants turn meter to all allies. So he's pretty cool. He's a tank. He's a little squishy for my liking, but he did well for me until I got Nuraz on the team. So whichever way that you want to go with that. So the video, a little bit lengthy, but there's your starter teams. Now, the team that I'm using for my guild campaign, you can use either light or shadow characters. Currently, I'm using my shadow team to go through the guild campaign, and they're working out pretty well. Still playing around with arena teams. A lot of what I'm seeing in the arena is a combination of the Rohan trio with like Strider and Pippin or Ironhide and some other characters as well. So there you go. Those are the 3 teams. We've got the Hobbits, which is a good balanced team. You've got the Rohan team, which is a lot of crits and assists, and they do well. And then you got the Isengard team, the Isengard trio for Shadow, which just has a whole lot of banes and heals and damage and summons and trolls. It's just cool. It's a really, really cool, it's a really, really fun team. All right, everybody, that is what I had for you. Really curious on your thoughts. For those of you who've been playing the game for a while, what suggestions do you have? What teams do you enjoy playing around with? And those of you who have just now started jumping into the game, feel free to leave all your questions below. Everybody would be glad to help you. Also, feel free to jump on over to Discord. Really working on building the community up over there. All right, everybody, that is what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.